Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, and this is the second video I'm making on Islam. So let's begin. Now, if you criticize Islam, that is, if you ever try to do that, you may have come across Muslim apologists and liberal Muslims, and even just liberal non-Muslims say that, hey, don't criticize Islam because it is offensive to some people. Well, in this case, the second largest religion with 1.8 billion followers. The argument is usually that Muslims are a minority in most of the world, so they should be protected. They should be under a protected class. They face discrimination, for example, from the mostly, like not even mostly, usually the conservative right wing, the far right. For example, in the West, the Muslims face discrimination from conservatives. The right wing anywhere, almost anywhere, don't like them. In India, like, oh my gosh, like Muslims in India face so much discrimination. It's horrible for them. Muslims in China, the Uyghurs in China, are literally in detention camps. Like, this is like Holocaust level stuff going on in China right now. So basically, Muslims face a lot of discrimination around the world, and it is true that they are a minority in several parts of the world, even though they are the second largest religion in the world. But yeah, but then again, they are also the majority, the vast majority in the Islamic countries, from Saudi Arabia, Egypt, like the Middle East, to Southeast Asian countries like Malaysia and Indonesia, where they rule with Sharia law, and that's basically the Islamic countries, the Muslim world. Pakistan, Bangladesh, Iran, Afghanistan, Iraq, Turkey, these are all Islamic countries, and they don't do really that good. And I am an atheist, I am an anti-atheist, and I criticize all religions, including Islam, Hinduism, Christianity. And as for me, I do come across people who say Islam is a religion of peace. Like, this is now a joke among atheists, Islam, the religion of peace. And they often cite a verse from the Quran saying, whoever takes a life, it will be as if they killed all of humanity. Now, this sounds really good and everything. However, besides the problems that I have, that it's just a command from a divine authority, from an imaginary divine authority, that you need to do this, that's why they're doing this. It's not like you're doing this because you are good at heart. If you are just following this command, it's just that you are following a command. But leave it be. I just want to say, like, there were also, like, when you actually, like, they took this verse from the Quran and they say that Islam is a religion of peace, but when anti-Islam critics, when they take verses from the Quran or the Hadiths and they criticize Islam, Muslims, liberals, they usually say that you are taking it out of context, or something like, yeah, that was in Muhammad's time, that was a law for then, it doesn't apply today, and things like this. However, there are actually things like those, like there are certain laws for a particular time and everything, a particular place and time, and there are people who take verses out of context from the Quran and present it in an argument about Islam. However, usually the side that's doing this is not anti-Islam critics, it's usually the Muslims. So let's take the verse that they quote: whoever takes a life, it will be as if they kill all humanity. Now this comes from Quran 5:32. Now the entire verse is this: Quran 5:32. This is why we ordained for the children of Israel that whoever takes a life, unless a punishment for murder or mischief in the land, it will be as if they kill all of humanity. And whoever saves a life, it will be as if they saved all of humanity. Although our messengers already came to them with clear proofs, many of them still transgressed afterwards through the land. Now, you might think, like, hey, what's the problem with this? This seems like a good verse, but when people don't usually say this, but look at the top of the verse. We ordained for the children of Israel. That's not all of humanity. The children of Israel is referring to the Jews in Arabia. in medieval Arabia they were the Jews, and that's what they're talking about. And I think even this verse is taken from the Bible, although I'm not very sure about that. I think this was taken copy pasta from the Bible. But yeah, this was out of context. It is not for all people. No one ever, like, the Quran doesn't say anyone who kills one person is like killing all of humanity. It's just for the Jews in Arabia, and it's just addressing them. And let's just take a look at the next verse, which is Quran 5:33. Indeed, the penalty for those who wage war against Allah and His Messenger and spread mischief in the land is death, crucifixion, cutting off their hands and feet on opposite sides, or exile from the land. This penalty is a disgrace for them in this world, and they will suffer a tremendous punishment in the hereafter. Now you can perhaps try to justify this verse saying, hey, it's talking about like whoever wages war, although it actually says whoever wages war against Allah and His messengers, and that could be taken in any sense, basically, if you're criticizing Islam or anything. But maybe let's be very charitable and say that it's saying if you wage war against the community, they will fight back, and those will be the punishments, even though those punishments are like really inhuman, really barbaric traditions. Like, if you think people should be killed like by crucifixion or cutting off their hands, like, you were insane. I'm sorry. They're really horrible. However, maybe even if I'm very charitable, maybe you can say that it was the medieval period, that's what people did back then. But then you have to say that Muhammad was not the perfect man, he was just a man during his time, and this was not a message from the almighty, all-knowing, omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent Allah, because if Allah was really like omniscient, he would know, or omnipotent, like he could just like stop this, or he could have sent a better message or better punishment. They were never perfect. But even if we ignore those, like, people need to stop saying that Islam is a religion of peace, because nothing in this verse, there's no part in this verse which suggests peace to me. And if you think this is peaceful, then I'm sorry, you are utterly wrong and you are a moron. That's what it is. But yeah, so this is just what I wanted to say. Like, stop saying Islam is a religion of peace. It is clearly not. There are several verses in the Quran and the Hadiths to prove you wrong, and this is just one of those verses. Like, people say, like Muslims say, that you are taking it out of context, while when they quote the verses, like when they are quoting whoever takes a life, it will be like killing all of humanity. They are taking that part out of context, and when you put it in context, you can see that it's just talking about a certain group of people, which is the Jews in Arabia, and it's still not that peaceful, because they are not supposed to take a life except in cases like murder of mischief in the land. Murder, okay, understandable perhaps, but mischief in the land, like, that's so vague. You can just make it to mean anything at all. Like, what's mischief in the land? That's so fucking vague. And the next verse, the verse directly following it, is certainly not peaceful. Like, there's no way you can see it as peaceful. Like, crucifixion, cutting off hands and feet, and like, that's not peace. And that's just penalty, that's just disgrace in this world. And they will face tremendous punishment hereafter, in the hereafter, which is basically they're going to hell. I'm sorry, but the religion you're trying to defend, like, think again, that's not a religion of peace, that's a religion of violence. Like every other religion. I'm not saying Islam is uniquely so. I think Christianity is a death cult, and Hinduism is certainly horrible. But please stop. Please accept criticism. Like, your religion is not really that good. Religions are not good. Religions are just left over from the infancy of human intellect, and they should be gone. We don't need them anymore. We don't need any of them. We don't need Islam either. So, one of my favorite ex-Muslim YouTubers is the Apostate Prophet. So I'll quote him in the honor of him. I'll say, stay away from Islam.